Well, hello, Katie Cook. How are you doing? How lovely to see you.
And
Amazing.
you.
Oh, it's just so good to see you. It's just so good to see you. And welcome
Aw.
to this Meet Your Masters and our Life on the Cruise Ship special with
Thank
none other
you.
than Katie Cook. My goodness, where are you in the world? Tell us, Katie, whereabouts are you right now?
I'm in just outside Banbury in Oxfordshire at the moment. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Well, I'm actually with mum and dad, so enjoying that life at the moment, which is fine. We're getting there, but no, all good, thank you.
Lovely. Oh, that's so good to hear. Well, listen, we're going to get straight in there. We're going to start talking about you and what it's like being a cruise ship performer. Obviously, things are a little bit different for everybody at the moment,
Yeah.
but you are still a cruise ship performer. It's still in there. It's still in
there.
you.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's go back to sort of the beginning then. So obviously we've known each other for quite a while now, with one thing or another. Take us through like performing arts for you then. So how did it all come about? What got you into like performance? And then where did you train? What was all that about? Hit us up.
Yeah. Well, I kind of started, like most people do, kind of local dance school, was doing kind of dance classes every week after school. And from there, my dance teacher was part of the local youth theatre, and they would always host kind of summer boot camps for us, and where you'd kind of put a show on in a week, like a musical. And I remember just always getting involved in that, and there was kind of a group of us from my dancing school and friends that would always do that every summer. And it was kind of from there I just thought, oh, well, at the first you don't really think of it as a job. You kind of think, okay, oh, there is a career in this. And I remember kind of thinking there was a group of people that I kind of thought, oh yeah, well, if they're going to go and do it, I definitely want to give it a go as well. So, and then from there, obviously went to Stratford College, did 2 years there with you, which was amazing. It was amazing. I always think about those times, and they were just brilliant. And that was an amazing experience as well. So, and then after that, I did, obviously after we've been at Stratford College, we auditioned for drama schools. That's kind of the next step, to then get into a drama school and then build up from a career into the industry. So from Stratford, I did a foundation year in Guildford at PPA.
Yeah.
And then I was lucky enough and then I joined Urdang after that for 3 years. So, and I did the musical theatre course there. So that's where it all kind of took off. And
amazing.
Yeah, it's all amazing. It was great fun. I miss it a lot, really, kind of the training. And it's such a fun time of your life, because it's everyone who's there is wanting to do the same thing. So the energy of it all is just amazing.
Wow. And you very much are like obviously you sing, and gosh, singing is just like, we've seen you sing Thursford, and we went to see you in that last time it was there, and who should be opening the show? Oh my goodness, out she comes with Strike Up the Band, the massive band. It was incredible. So obviously singing, but obviously dancing and acting as well. You've had to nail all of it, haven't you?
Yeah, and I think Urdang was really helpful for that, because the dance training is obviously really high there. So seeing these amazing dancers every day and being friends with them, it kind of set a bar, and you kind of then, again, like the energy is there. So you're just like, well, I need to keep up with these guys. Well, and obviously, like every college, people have their strengths, and then they work on things that they need to develop. So for me, I like musical theatre, and like the kind of all round I love the most. So I think I don't like to put myself in a box. I kind of just think, well, just train hard and work hard, and just throw yourself into every opportunity, and don't down yourself either. Don't think, well, I'm just a singer, or I'm just an actress, or I think you've got to just be open-minded and just throw yourself into every experience, really. So, but no, it was an amazing time.
And I just pick up on something that you just said, because this is one of the things that I say to people all the time. You've just used the two magic words, hard work. Yeah. And it is, isn't it? Like, there are those moments where it's like you just can't hit that note, or you can't make that mark, or you've pushed yourself too far in a routine or something, and you're at rock bottom, aren't you? And it's like, I can't do it. And it's that hard work and determination. How did you do that? So what was it that gave you the drive to work hard? What was it? What was the energy?
Oh God, I think if you love it and that's what you want to do, you're going to work hard, and you have to like I said, if you're around people that are also working really, really hard, I think you naturally jump on the train and you kind of all go together. I think I had a very close friend group, and from that you kind of think, okay, where do I fit in terms of the industry? And obviously you have your days when you don't hit the note or you fall flat on your face in a dance routine, but you've got to laugh at those moments and almost not take it too seriously, you know, like this industry can be you could be on an absolute high, and then within a couple of months you might not have a job for a long time. And so I think those are the times I think mentally you just have to keep going. And I think that this industry in particular, it's very much, I'm going to keep going until the next thing comes along, because you never know when it does. So you've just got to, and especially with at the moment, you've just got to keep believing, I think. And
you have.
Then, you know? To
quote a popular song, don't stop believing.
Don't stop believing, yeah. literally, you can't, because if you do, then you won't, you know. I'm a strong believer in everything happens for a reason and at the right time. So I think just trust the process. I think that's always one of my favorite things, is just
trust the process. I love that. I think that's a hashtag Katie Cook moment right there. Hashtag trust the process. Oh,
you can have it. Yeah.
Amazing. That's going out everywhere. Socials. You watch. It's going to fly. I'll get Morley on it right away. Come on, Morley. Hashtag trust the process. She's on it. She's doing it now. It's coming out. Love it. Cool. So you had some amazing experiences in training. You know, you trained obviously at Stratford, and then you went on PPA, which is a fabulous school, and then Urdang, which is, you know, again another fabulous school. What happened after that? What was the next sort of rung on the ladder?
Yeah, I mean, after that, I was very lucky. I kind of had so in your final year, the college brought in cruise companies and directors and stuff that you were allowed to audition for, which was obviously really helpful. And I was lucky enough that the cruise that I first did, P&O Australia with Grey Boy Entertainment, they came into college and auditioned us from there. So that's where I got my first job, which was an amazing, I was so grateful for that. And I think college in itself is such a whirlwind, and then you go into the big wide world of like, oh, okay. But I know that they audition a lot, and lots of cruise companies and stuff audition all the time. So people in my year may have not booked a job straight after college, but they then a couple of months later or a year later or so then booked the job. So
wow, okay.
So I think for me, I went straight to Australia after I graduated, which was amazing, and it's kind of like pinch me moment. But I was very grateful for that experience. Yeah.
So you tumbled out of Stagecoach and into a contract.
Yeah, no,
how wonderful!
It was amazing. It was really fun, but also it's like I say, it's a whirlwind. And then you start your first job and you think, oh God, this is my job now. I need to like you're not in the safety of your college anymore. You're working, and you've got to do a good job, really. So that was quite exciting and daunting, but great at the same time.
Wow, gosh, that's an amazing trajectory, and gosh, straight out P&O Australia, that's incredible. So let's follow the story on. I want to know what happens next. So what is life on the boat like? So you've cast it, you've got the part, the contract's in, you've signed it, your agent's happy, you're happy, it's tick tick tick, and then you're out on the boat. What happened next? What's the process?
I mean, you kind of went out and did rehearse. My first ship, we went out and we rehearsed for about 6 weeks in Sydney, which is just amazing.
What a hassle, hey! What a nightmare.
Yeah, I know. And then that was quite a shorter rehearsal process to other ones I've done, but that was kind of a show in a week. We learnt 5 shows in 5 weeks, and then kind of had a clean-up week, and then we went on the ship. And then once you're on the ship, the old cast is still on board. So you have an install process. So you would then have to install the shows that you've learned and put them onto the stage, because you learn in a studio, and then you've actually kind of got to relearn it on the stage that you're then going to perform on. So that's a rehearsal process within itself as well. And then you're off. You go.
Wow. Gosh, so literally 6 weeks, and then
that was quite obviously everything's just thrown at you, and I think if you, as much as you can prepare it in advance and what they give you, because some don't. Some want you to learn the full process while you're out there. Others like to send you the tracks, lyrics, and if you I mean, I'm awful with lyrics. I'll sing the wrong words left, right, and centre. So if you can prepare, then definitely prepare for that, because it's all just, you're like a rabbit in headlights, really. It's like, whoa. So, but they're there to help you and support you. They don't just leave you. They'll only leave you when they know you're ready to go, which you usually are as a cast. So they know what they're doing, which is a good thing.
Wow. Okay. Cool. So what was it like? Now, obviously, we know that like different boats are slightly different from other boats. Some are bigger, some are smaller. Yeah. Different nationalities on board, depending who's running, like the liner or whatever. But what did a day look like? Like a normal Katie Cook on the ocean day. On one of those Australian cruises, what was it like? What was a day?
Oh God! Well, I mean, you meet so many different people, and like you say, like people have come from completely different backgrounds. They're also working within all the different departments to run the ship. So you have a lot of time to make friends and meet new people, which is obviously amazing. A normal day, I think, if you had a show, like you'd do 2 to 3 shows a night, maybe. So a show day, you'd kind of relax, like not do too much in the day, because you knew you've got the shows to come up in the evening. But your days off, I mean, if you were docked for the day in somewhere nice, you've got the day for yourself. Obviously you might have other duties around the ship, like other dance classes or taking part in other things within the entertainment department. So you're kind of free to do what you want once you kind of get into the groove of the schedule. And as long as you clock in, you're backstage ready to go about a couple of hours before the show to warm up and get ready. And it's a very, what's the word? I don't know. It just feels like another world, you know. It's another kind of, it's not the 9 to 5. There's not that. It's, you kind of make your own schedules for yourself, and whether you go to the gym or you have the day off or you do other things. I think it's good to schedule in stuff for yourself, but then on your work days be ready to do the shows, really. So
wow. And did you ever have to do any, like, you know, extra duties and stuff? Were you ever like roped in with stuff?
Like, there'd be like fun activities where you'd be asked to play volleyball or stuff with the passengers, or there used to be like game shows they'd get us involved in.
Nice. Once
the passengers start seeing the shows, they kind of, once they see you around the ship, they'll kind of know who you are. And it's almost like it's like a not fame, but they're like, oh, so you're the cast, and you'll always be spotted as the cast, and they love that. So you feel famous. You're like, oh yeah, that was me.
I'm Katie Cook, don't you know?
No, but so it's a nice thing, because they then like to see you do other things. I think that's always fun to get involved in. And again, other people have other duties and stuff as well. It depends, dance classes or doing other events and stuff like that. But all within the entertainment. You're not going to go off and start doing something completely different unless you really wanted to. But
so did you have any like special like muster duties? Were you responsible for anything in particular, like life jackets or fire extinguishers?
That's a good point. Not me personally. Like depending how big the cast is, or obviously different companies do it differently. So some companies, the whole cast are involved in the muster stations and obviously doing the drills for the passengers, which is very daunting when you first get on, to be asked to do that. And I think obviously the safety side of it, but again, you get talked through it, and they usually use the cast, because we're kind of the loud, bubbly lot that get everyone to the right section.
Just follow the music for the lifeboat, you'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just, you check everyone in and make sure everyone's on the ship, and they listen to the safety announcements, because at the end of the day, they are on holiday, but there is a safety element within. These ships are huge, so you want to make sure you know what you're doing if, touch wood, an emergency was to happen. But doesn't usually these days, so it's
no. So were there ever any moments where you thought, oh gosh, this isn't a drill? Did that ever happen when you were on the boat?
Yeah, I mean, there'll be things that would happen, kind of, though you'd hear in the evening kind of the drills going off, and you just think, oh goodness, but they'll alert you when they need to, and again, all the safety procedures are there. So as long as, and I think for yourself to just know where your own muster station is and know your own duties. If something was, I think that then settles you as well, and just kind of, okay, I'm going to go here and I'm going to help these people. But again, touch wood, never been in that situation. So
nice, because the theatres on some of the cruise ships are absolutely stunning, aren't they? Full functioning 1,000-seater auditoriums and full capability for like proper production in there, isn't there? Like massive shows.
Like these huge ships now, it blows my mind, if I'm honest, the fact that these things are basically floating
cities, aren't they?
Cities, literally. Like the theatre is huge, and I think that's what kind of brings you back, because you think, oh yeah, I'm performing in a theatre every night, and that's an amazing feeling to a full audience. But there's aerialists and there's things that are flown around, like the stage moves. It's not just stage curtain, like it's a full production, and I think that's amazing, really. And to be part of that is also an amazing opportunity. So
nice.
They're huge. It's crazy.
Wow. So you spoke a little bit, so the rehearsal process. So obviously some people will, go from drama school and they'll go and work in theatre, or they'll go and work in holiday parks, maybe they'll do cruise ships, maybe they'll go and sing at Thursford, open the show, strike up the band, that kind of thing. How would you say like the rehearsal process is different then for cruise ships in terms of anything else you've done?
I wouldn't say there's like that big a difference in terms of you get given a length of time. With me, there's always been kind of, you have your like your director, choreographer. You're never left to yourself to do it. Like someone is there to teach you the shows, and that's their responsibility, and your responsibility is obviously to learn it. Like any show, like anything you would start. I think the only difference would be the install process because obviously you learn the show, whereas in a theatre maybe you might learn it in the studio and then you take it onto the theatre. It's the same with cruise ships, but that install process can be quite tiring, because when you're on the ship, once you've moved on the ship, obviously the ship's still being used for the holidays, so your rehearsal times your body clock kind of changes, because you might be working 11 till 3 in the morning because they're the only hours that the theatre's available. So I think there's a shift there, because you will be asked to be awake you kind of have to flip your days around, really, kind of rest in the day and then be up ready to rehearse and set the shows. So I think that's the only real difference. I mean, obviously it's a bit like teching a show. Sometimes you can be up till ridiculous hours in the morning teching. So I think that's something but other than that, I think it's kind of similar to a lot of other rehearsal processes that I've done anyway.
Very good. So what about high points then? So you've been out on the boats or whatever. What were your moments where you were like, oh gosh, this is amazing, like living my best life? What go on, give us a Katie Cook living my best life moment.
Oh, I mean, in Australia, you every kind of week or so you'd sail under the harbour bridge, and that was always a moment of just like, what is my life? Like, I'm the other side of the world right now, and again in America, like these ships are just so big, and you'll come off for the day, and sometimes you'll turn up and you'll be like, oh my goodness, that's my home and that's my job and this is my life for the next 9 to 10 months. So I think there's so many highs, and you get to see so many amazing different parts of the world. You meet some amazing people, you make lifelong friendships, and you get to do what you love and what you've trained in as your job. Like, I think that's the high in all of it, really. But and obviously the destinations are just incredible.
Yeah, gosh. And seeing that, like sailing under the Sydney Harbour Bridge, oh gosh, that's bucket list stuff, isn't it?
It is, and to be given that opportunity to go there, I think, especially Australia, it seems so far away to here. So that's all. I always think about that moment. That's always like one of my. But obviously, doing the shows and just living that life is amazing. So I definitely recommend it to anyone that's interested.
Top tip there from Katie Cook. Definitely recommended.
Well, I think also to make your own experiences and make your own memories, I think, and to pinch yourself every now and again, because it can get, obviously you're away from home for a long time, so and you're not close. And obviously we're lucky now that we've got FaceTimes and we can see friends and family, but it's not the same as being at home and being away from your loved ones. So I think just kind of appreciating where you are and what you're doing, I think, is a big one as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you know, that leads very nicely on to the next thing I was going to ask you, which is about obviously these incredible moments of, like, you know, Sydney Harbour and all of that stuff, and performing wonderful roles in packed theatres and all of this sort of stuff. Yeah. What are the low points? What is it that sometimes when you, all of that is sort of taken away, what are the sort of the pitfalls maybe that people might find difficult, or that you maybe found difficult, and how do you get over those things? How do you overcome those things?
Yeah, no, it's a good thing, because you can coat it all in chocolate and make it look like the most amazing thing, and it usually like most of the time you're having a great time, but there are lows, and like any job, like you can run yourself down, like you can work not too hard, but you get to a point where your body just starts like, hang on a second, just take a bit of you time. Yeah. Obviously you are away from friends and family, like, and I'm quite a family orientated person, so keeping in contact with your family a lot of the time, and obviously on ships and stuff, I mean, I think it's slightly different, it's progressing so much better now, but Wi-Fi and stuff, like being in contact with them isn't as instant as texting your mate on WhatsApp down the road, you know. There is more to that. So I think on your turnaround days to always check in with loved ones or friends and family. I think that's always important, because you don't want to miss out. And I think there's always a sense of, you feel like you might be missing out on something, but you just got to stay in contact and work through those moments. But so I think that's always quite hard. After a few months, kind of the novelty rubs off a little bit, and you miss home, you know, you miss just your home comforts and bit stupid things, really. It's always the smaller things you miss more than the bigger things. But again, they love you, and they're pleased that you're having a great time out there. So it's kind of that's always a bit of a balance you've got to find. Another low, sometimes the ships can become quite within themselves, they become a bit of a bubble, and like I say, you don't sometimes always have the outside world available to you. So within themselves, you've got the same people there, like you've obviously got your cast members, and it can become a bit, I don't want to say claustrophobic, but you just get to a point where you just feel a bit like every day you want to just break out or have a day for yourself. And I think it's important to have those days, and if you don't want to join in on everything, then like that's fine. Like I think there's always pressure of like, well, we need to do this and we need to do this and we need to do this. Whereas actually listen to your body and listen to yourself and just be like, actually, I'm going to go off on my own today. Like my turnaround day was always like doing a bit of kind of TLC, you know, just
80 time.
Yeah, go and get your favourite chocolate and bring it back on with you. Like,
love it.
Get your favourite snacks and stuff like that. The things that just keep you happy. I think that's and to bring you out of the bubble, really, I think. So, and talk to people. I think that's really, really important. If you're ever feeling down, let someone know, because you don't want to dig yourself a hole so far that you feel like you can't talk to anyone. I think it's really important to talk to either friends or your dance captain or your kind of manager of your entertainment group. Just speak how you feel. I think that's really important as well.
Yeah. Oh gosh, top tips here, firing out. Right, this is amazing. It's amazing. So many moons ago, when I did a little bit on ships, and I was in the ship's band. And when I remember getting on the boat or whatever, and the band that were coming off, because you were swapping and replacing whatever, said to me, because this was my first time on the boat, and said, well, there's two types of sick that you get on the boat. There's homesick and there's seasick. And it's just like, right, okay. And I was like, how do I stop being seasick? And he went, oh, you'll work it out. And I was like, oh, great. Thanks very much. So was that something that you ever struggled with? I mean, obviously, the bigger the boat, the less sort of movement.
No, I think to be fair, I haven't even, that's not even been one of the things that's been at the top of my head, because I think after a while, when you first get on, there is a sense of
movement. Look, we both did it.
But yeah, and I think you can, and that's also when you're installing the shows, that can be such a whirlwind couple of weeks, because you're getting used to living on a ship. You're plotting the shows late. you don't know when, you don't know where you're around the ship. You're not 100% sure. And if you've never been on one before, it's so confusing. And even the staff quarters, there's obviously the passenger section, but then there's the whole crew area down below. In the depths, and getting used to that and finding where everything is. So, and seasickness as well. I think is it ginger tablets, I think, are good for that. But you get used to it. Within a couple of weeks, you forget completely. And then people will come on and be like, do you not feel the rocking? And you're just like, no.
I quite like it, actually.
I mean, there's been some awful storms. I mean, the storms, and like you hear stories and you literally feel this. Like you'd be in your bed and you just be like, oh my goodness, like what is going on? But just have a drink and go back to bed, really.
Oh, well, there we go. Another top tip from Katie Cook. Have a drink and go to bed. Love it.
I don't want to promote people drinking, but
we always drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly. That's
there we go.
Exactly.
Furthermore, consumer advice today from Katie Cook. Love it. So if we were to think about, like, I don't know, some people watching the video who are thinking like, yeah, this cruise ship thing, I'd love to do it. I know people that have done it. It really makes me tick. It's what I want to be doing. What advice would you give to these people, like, who are considering a career, at working on the ships? What about, advice in terms of training, in terms of like mental preparation, in terms of skills, in terms of like, what would you say to them? What is the gift you give back?
For cruise, I think obviously if they've done their training, then the auditions are always quite, you hear stories of huge lines, you'll be in a queue all day, and the auditions are always quite regular, I think, for cruises. Like if you miss it one week, you can go back within a month and audition for the same people again, which is also quite helpful, because if you get a no once, it doesn't mean you can't go back again and try again. And I think that's always a good, you might audition for one thing and get given something completely different. So I think just keep going. And I think if you're really interested, then do audition for all the different companies as well, because you'll find a company that might do more musical based or more production show, like pop singers. And I mean, there's some incredible talent on these ships. It's ridiculous. And I think finding what shows you would, maybe research the shows you'd like to do, find out what each ship offers for you, and if that's something, and just really go for it. I think, obviously auditions and stuff at the moment, not great, but it doesn't mean that it won't pick up anytime soon. And I think, like I said, trust the process, and if you really like it, just keep going, because you will. And they're always looking for, I mean, there's so many ships now, there's so many casts, and the casts are getting bigger and bigger, and they want more. And I mean, it's a crazy industry even within itself, really. Like, it's obviously part of the performing arts and stuff, but cruise is also very separate to working on land. And I think mentally, if it's your first ship, just be ready. And I think you'll grow up a lot within that 8 months, especially if you've come out of college or you still live at home. Like, it's quite a learning curve. And I think just, like I said, take your own time for yourself, and don't, obviously it's such a rabbit in headlights moment. I think keep checking in on yourself and just being like, okay, do this, do that. I think that's probably, if that's all right. That's
amazing advice. I mean, I'm still eating off trust the process. I'm still there. Do you know what I mean? That's going out. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be your face, that hashtag, it's happening.
Trust the process.
Yeah. I love that. I will so try and put when you did that. Lovely. I absolutely love that. Listen, I think we're going into bonus questions now.
Oh, brilliant.
I think we're going into bonus questions because we're just on fire here. So trust the process. We're going into bonus questions.
Bonus questions, okay.
So these are a little bit off the wall, and we ask these questions to like the people that come on. So funniest moment, like on the job, or like funny story, or like moment where you corpsed, I don't know, something. Go on, give us a funny moment.
Oh goodness, I mean, there are so many, Alex, honestly. And I think when, oh God, I mean, I can't even think of individual ones, but you have such a laugh, like, if you and your castmates, once you get to know the shows really well, it kind of becomes second nature, and everyone knows every line, every count, when everyone's entering and leaving, and I think if one mistake happens, everyone knows. And like in terms of like forgetting a line, or sometimes you'll start your line and your brain, you know what it's like, your brain just cuts, and you just stand there and you're just like, I have no idea, and you just look at your cast member and just be like, help me, I have no idea where I am, and they have to lift you up, or you play silly games backstage. Like it's a mad kind of, the backstage area is always my favorite, because it's just, no one sees the kind of, it's the storm, isn't it?
Chaos that goes on backstage.
Absolute chaos.
Yeah. And
you get in such a rhythm of like, oh, everyone's on the same beat every night, and it just becomes. But no, there's so many like when one of your best friends is completely lost it on stage, trying to keep a straight face and carry on with the show that's the hardest feat. Honestly, I literally have to find some way of hiding, and there's always like technical issues sometimes when a slow song's meant to start and then an up-tempo number starts and everyone's just there like, oh my goodness, or they like, it's just the mistakes, but they're the best bits, really. They're the kind of,
love it. Well, they help make the memories, don't they?
Exactly. You'll be laughing about them for a week, so.
Oh, love it. Okay, so the next bonus question then, most ridiculous costume you've ever had to wear?
Oh, if you've seen some shows, there's some brilliant costumes on these ships. Like there's some of the production shows, they're just wacky ideas, and they don't stop at the costumes. I think for Greece, we were in the beauty school dropout number. All the girls are with Vince Fontaine when he does it, and Rizzo she's dressed as a perfume bottle, so she's got this huge, like caged, I don't want to say petty, like it's like a huge cage, and you've got to step into it, and you're like a little perfume bottle, but all the other girls in the number are really showbiz, but you've got to just, your feet are just glued together, and I just remember thinking, like, I'm dressed as a perfume bottle here.
That's hilarious. Like a lampshade. Like
yeah, literally. And then another girl was dressed as like a dressing table, so she had this huge, like, the costumes are just mad. So perfume bottle probably is
perfume bottle thing. Love it. Okay, and then our final one, so this is just, your favorite show or gig that you've done. What was the one thing where you've sort of performed, or you've sung, or you've done something and you're just like, that was smashing?
I don't know, there's so many, Alex. Honestly, it's like, I think I've done kind of different, I've done musical and then done kind of Christmas shows and other gigs and stuff, so it's hard to pin on one. I think Rizzo for me, like, was just an amazing experience, like being my first kind of paid job to be in a musical and play her. She's just such a sassy character, and everyone else has got to be all this, and Rizzo can be really moody, and do you know what I mean? Like there's and finding her and exploring her was really fun. I do miss playing her. So maybe Rizzo, but you can't compare your jobs because you get so much from different things, but doing Greece was so much fun. Love it. Oh, that's amazing, and I'm just out of pure intrigue, because I'm always interested in this sort of thing. Favorite ice cream, what is it you're into? What is the ice cream of choice? I'd always go strawberry. I know people are always like, it's a bit boring, like there's so many amazing flavors out there. I love a strawberry ice cream, like a proper strawberry with bits of strawberry. Because that's one of the 5 a day, right? It's a win-win. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Strawberry, love it. Fab. Well, listen, it has been an absolute joy to chat with you about like you and the cruise ships, and to catch up. It's been absolutely stunning. If you're out there and you're watching this and you just think, gosh, this Katie Cook, she is incredible, and yes, I can vouch for her, she is. You need to trust the process, because this one, she's doing all sorts of stuff with us for mtda. She's on our website. If you go to www.mtda.uk/masters, you can click on her biog, her
Her headshot is there. You can read all about her. Yeah, she's all on there. If you go onto our social media, our handle is at WeAreMTDA UK. You can find out all about the stuff that she's doing, the masterclasses that she's bringing, the boot camps that she's involved in. And we are just so delighted that she is a part of our MTDA family and one of our wonderful, wonderful masters that are going to be bringing some amazing stuff. So listen, Katie, thank you so much. It's been a joy.
I hope that's given some people some enlightenment, and I look forward to hopefully seeing them. Amazing.
And just the hashtag, trust the process.
Trust the process.
That says it all.
Thank you.
Amazing. Lovely to see you. Safe journey home, everyone. And you too, Cookie.
Bye.
Bye.